I used Steve as an example in the last Hangouts. I was actually working on a response video to him towards this situation of where I misspeak and I say the telomeric repeats the wrong way, basically.
Let's remind everyone again what Ronnie actually said to Ruhif.
Okay, so what you're basically trying to say right now is that that's the only sequence that you're finding, right?
That is a telomeric repeat, yes.
Okay, so that's the telomeric. Well, it looks like there's actually more above that, though. That's what the problem that I have with it.
Looks like there what?
Scroll up a little bit where you're seeing I see TAGAGGT up there. Highlight all that above you.
Yeah.
Do you guys see what I'm referring to?
I see it. What are you looking at?
Where you're seeing the TAGGT, it's the G-rich sequences. That's what I'm trying to point out.
Yeah.
Does anybody else see the G-rich? Does anybody else see the G-rich sequences?
They're not telomeric repeat.
Ronnie specifically said to Ruhif that he saw more telomeric repeats above the only actual telomeric sequence on the screen.
And I was going to include a screenshot that predated all this nonsense a few months back, to where I explained the TTAGGG telomeric sequences.
What is there to explain? Ronnie didn't know at the time that TTAGGG was the only telomeric sequence for vertebrates.
I think this was actually like right after the discussion that I had with Hogtie on this channel. It was the discussion that Rumpus was supposed to be having with me. He didn't show up, and then Hogtie came over. It was somewhere around that time. So I was going to include it in there to say, okay, look, I know the telomeric sequences. I said it beforehand. Here's just another situation where you're trying to get at me where I'm misspeaking.
Ronnie said he saw TAGAGGT and TAGGT in, quote, G-rich regions. Sorry, Ronnie, that is not someone misspeaking. That is someone who clearly is speaking gibberish.
We all know what Steve does, right? I mean, that's what he does. He's desperately trying to find something where I'm wrong about. So he's going around looking through my videos, trying to find some area where I'm misspeaking.
In the video where Ronnie was speaking with Ruhif, there was a number of things I could have pointed out, but I merely wanted to keep the video succinct. Finding errors in what Ronnie says is akin to finding sand on a beach. It doesn't take any effort, as they are ubiquitous in every video he makes.
He did it when I said, for example, when I was talking about Roger Penfield, I misspoke and I would say Roger Penrose, and I would correct myself, throughout the video. The same thing happened when he doubled down under the ATP synthase structure, and also when he tried to take a section out of what I was saying with Jake, ignored everything else that I was saying in context, and then he did it again over the electron transport chain with the cytochrome C oxidase.
How was Ronnie taken out of context when he maintained he was correct for several weeks, only to then claim he misspoke when I and many others pointed out the same mistakes?
So he's got to pay. Everybody knows that he's known for doing stuff like that. He's that sniveling little weasel over there in the corner that is too afraid to engage. He knows that he can't back those statements up of me being ignorant face to face. So he's trying to find something, at distance from me. And unfortunately, they're always like really, really petty things.
Gross conceptual errors are not petty things when Ronnie maintains himself to be the person always correcting the actual experts in our community. My room was always open to Ronnie, but he was too afraid to ever go in because he knows he would not be able to control the conversation with his abusive moderator style.
Like this. But during the course of me making this video, I was thinking about that. This is what I have to look forward to. Like, this is the best that they've got. Like, to try to ignore context, ignore other situations where I've corrected myself, and try desperately to find where somebody's misspeaking on sequences.
This was not a misspeak. Anyone can tell Ronnie clearly didn't know the subject, and Ruhif was dealing with an extremely inept person on this topic.
I mean, you would think that, okay, as he would include in his video, well, here's the reason why chromosome 2 fusion is correct, and defend his actual views. But there's none of that. I mean, there's, well, let me not say none of that. There's very, very little of that.
I have hundreds of hours dedicated to this very topic on my channel. Perhaps Ronnie should listen more often.
right? Because I think we can all see that Ruff, he's actually coming and he's actually trying to defend his position. But I think it really came down to nothing more than citation bluffing, obviously. And a matter of fact, my expectations, what I suspected was going to happen, ended up happening. Just based on the article that I was seeing where there was multiple different fusion events. But that's what I have to look forward to. Why am I keeping myself in touch with someone like this? People have been leaving comments on my channel saying that they think that it's beneath me to actually start engaging with these people. And me, I always have this attitude to where, you know what, I might be able to plant a seed in one of them so that maybe somebody will listen. And you know what, maybe if they are allowed to keep on spreading this misinformation, they're going to start misleading people.
Well, Ronnie, we wish you the best. We will continue on just fine, and we will still be milking that sweet Lulz milk every time you make an astronomically stupid, scientifically illiterate comment.